Let's hear it from Ms. Kaitlyn Tokay on ways to live like a king on the budget of a peasant.
So I had a problem, and the problem was that I was really broke. I paid for my rent in quarters, which is never a good idea to do because you go to the bank teller and they're like, what are you doing? But I'm here today to talk about personal finance and budgeting. So what I did is I looked to our great leader, Obama, because I thought that he might have some tips for me. But it turns out he really doesn't. Our economy is a great example of prime budgeting. So I didn't know really what to do. So after that, I was like, money does grow on trees, but it really doesn't actually. And so I was like, well, where does money come from? I guess it comes from a job. And so I have a job, and I am self-employed, but, don't grow drugs. So I was like, computer programming is really hard, and budgeting is probably really hard as well. And, it probably has something to do with jQuery and maybe a little bit of CAD, but it's really, really not. So you both plug in numbers about budgeting. So you come in and you get this output, and your output is that you get to spend more money than you actually thought you had, or that you don't have money and you are going to be eating McDoubles for the rest of your life. So I was like, well, millionaires have a great idea of budgeting, but it turns out that their idea of a budget is to make lots of money really young, and I'm really young, but I don't have a lot of money. So that's one of the reasons that I was like, I need to figure this out. Don't take extreme measures. I did a service project about eating out of dumpsters, and that's a really good idea, but it also requires a lot of bravery and not knowing what you're going to eat next. And you don't have, so the first thing I need to do is make a list, right? Because every budget starts with a list. So know exactly where your money's going and where it's going to go in the future, because no one likes a plan without an end. I made lists of like what I was spending money on, like why am I going to the bar 4 times a week? Or I shouldn't have as many friends, like maybe I should not go out to eat at all. So, my car is really broke. And so one of the things I was like, well, maybe I should just cook at home. And so that's one of my biggest expenses. And I learned out that everybody's not a cook, but there's always options. And so you can save money by cooking at home. But you don't have to eat Pop-Tarts or ramen noodles or peanut butter or granola bars, because there's so many more options after you learn how to budget your money appropriately. Although peanut butter is a great option, everybody can learn how to be a sous chef in a matter of minutes. One of my personal expenses is travel. However, if hostel's not for you, if not sharing a room with 10 other people is not really something you're going to be doing with, just know that there's other options besides hotels. Time is money, and when you're traveling, knowing where you're going to go is always important. Next slide. So when you travel, there's different kinds of methods that you can do. Credit cards are really good. A lot of people don't know how credit cards work. But if you go to an airline that uses tax miles for your advantage, then it works for you. However, do not go on spending sprees and things that you can get airline tickets for cheap, because it doesn't work. But the world is your possibility. After you learn how to budget, you can figure out where you're spending and where you're saving, and all different kinds of places, and you will too become a world traveler. So when you travel the world, there might be some lessons you learn. One of them is creating meetings on the go, running meetings at McDonald's, making sandwiches on the fly. These are all part of budgeting expenses that, while you might not necessarily think of, they also work. So knowing your house is also your biggest asset, but that doesn't mean that you're your house's biggest asset. So if you're going to live in a mansion, then make sure that you can afford to have one. If not, there's always other options. Camping's a great option while you're going to be doing, or you can also, mobile homes are going up in price right now because of such a high demand. So this could be your next dream home in the next couple of years after your house is foreclosed on. So there's different ways to save money. There's also different options of transportation. Riding the bus is a great one, but not everybody likes to sit next to strangers. So, or riding your bike to work, it doesn't matter. Just know that you're going to budget your categories appropriately because time is money. Thank you so much.